This is your instructor, Chris Clover. I'm going to talk about the UF200 Civic Engagement assignment, which includes an experience and a reflection paper. There are 110 points possible for this assignment. One of the goals of UF200 is to examine the meaning of the phrase "with liberty and justice for all" by direct interactions with others and taking a look at one's role within the world. By actively participating through this assignment, you will study ethical and civic issues in your own community. You will discuss how your own sense of privilege and power impacts your connection to relevant real-world issues. The activities for this assignment must be an out-of-classroom experience. The activity you choose must be completed before the end of week 14, so you have time to complete the reflection. It will probably take you between 4 to 6 hours in total, including completing the reflection. This experience should be one that you would not normally take part in. In other words, you can't do something that you are already volunteering for. It should challenge you and be meaningful to you. Here are the possible civic engagement activities. You may start this assignment immediately and turn it into Blackboard before the due date. To successfully complete this requirement, you must complete one of the following activities. These will take anywhere from 30 to 90 minutes each. The first activity. 1. Locate and visit a local community resource that addresses a population experiencing human rights violations or a violation of a specific article from the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. You must talk to someone at this organization about why, what, and how they provide resources and get some written information such as a brochure. The goal is to get information about a local resource in your community that addresses an ethical issue from a person who works there and describe their mission and services provided. Number 2, attend a local community event that provides information about human rights violations, a rally, a movie, a fundraiser, etc. For example, in October, National Domestic Violence Awareness Month, the Women's and Children's Alliance puts on a lot of different events. Take pictures if possible, get brochures, and take notes. Then, describe your experience to someone else, a relative, friend, coworker, or roommate, and find out how your story affects them. The goal is to gain information about a resource that addresses an ethical issue in your local community and provide that information to another person. The third possibility. Visit a local church that you do not know anything about. You do not have to attend a church service, but you might find that attending a service is the best way to describe what happens there. The goal is to learn about a religious community that is new to you and describe how your own cultural identity impacts your experience. Talk to someone who attends or works at that church with the goal of obtaining the following information. In other words, ask them questions. What are the religious beliefs of this church? What are the demographic of those who attend? Males, females, ages, families, individuals, couples, possible race, languages spoken, able-bodied, or those needing assistance. How does their church worship services get presented, and who presents them? Also ask them about events, education, or community resources that are offered by this church to address an ethical issue. The fourth possibility for a civic engagement experience. Map out the population demographics of a popular place for entertainment or leisure in your community, a public park, a movie theater, a concert, a department store, shopping mall, theme park, etc. You decide. Then, decide if there is an ethical issue present at that particular place. Describe what you learned to someone else, a relative, friend, coworker, or roommate, and find out how your story affects them. The goal is to be mindful of the diversity of people attending by keeping track and describing how your own cultural identity impacts what you expected and what you learned. You should describe who attends this event place by keeping track of their numbers for 30 minutes. Be sure to describe the place and any costs associated with being there. Keep track of people attending by describing their possible race, the language they speak, their ages, how they dress, casually or formal, if they're male or female, if they come as a family, as a couple, with friends, or individually, if they are able-bodied or needing assistance, and any other criteria that is of interest to you and helps you discover if there are any ethical issues. The fifth possibility for this experience is to volunteer at a local community agency that provides resources to remediate or reduce the impact of human rights violations on a particular population in your community. You could volunteer at the WCA, you could volunteer at the Agency for New Americans, things like that. Your activity must last at least 1 to 2 hours. The goal is to get information about a local resource in your community, and by volunteering, build your understanding of the ethical issues addressed by that agency. The sixth possibility is to do some research about laws and resources that work to provide safety to any one population that experiences human rights violations by contacting someone in local or state government, or by visiting City Hall or the state capitol in your local community. You can start your research online, but you must speak to someone and provide their name and title in the reflection in local government about your research. So talk to somebody in local government. The goal is to find out what types of resources or laws are allocated to address an ethical issue regarding human rights violations in your local community. Make a list of the resources and/or laws by title and provide a summary of each law's intent. Reflection requirements. Before you begin your activity, that is, before you go out and do your experience, consider the following prompts. You will need to answer all of these prompts in your reflection. These are the 7 prompts. 1. Introduction. Describe what activity you chose and why you chose it. Why was this activity meaningful for you? Include proof of your participation by providing at least one photo of yourself engaged in the activity. 2. What did you hope you would learn from this experience before you completed it? Include how the activity met the stated goal that was mentioned for the choices. 3. Describe your actual experience in completing this project, including your actions and the reactions of people, if applicable, whom you met during this experience. Describe the setting, location, and who was there. 4. What are the ethical issues you believe were addressed by these experiences? Describe the facts or information you gained or conversations that took place at the event that support the existence of the ethical issue. 5. Describe how this project helped you relate to your own sense of understanding about issues in your community. Include your understanding of how this issue is similar to a current global issue, where, who, what happens, etc., and provide 1 to 2 citations for the sources you found. In other words, do a little bit of research and see how this issue has global implications. See where it might exist somewhere else in the world. Number 6. Describe how your understanding of your own cultural identity and your sense of power or lack of power impacts your perspectives about this experience. Tell us how your chosen career or major might change your sense of power or lack of power. There's a typo in there. It should be sense of power or lack of power. 7. Describe your responsibility to your community. How might you take action to remediate or reduce the impact of human rights violations over the course of your time as a student, as a working citizen? Turning in the assignment. This is important. Choose one of these 4 possible methods to complete your reflection. This is not going to be a written paper. Number 1, make a mind map of your 2 experiences, describing in text and illustrations, photos, and pictures what you learned from your 2 experiences and using the prompts listed above. Your map can be a graphic or a PowerPoint. It can have audio or music. Be creative. You should have more than 1 map for this assignment. Make it a journey, not just a statement. Here is a tutorial from iMap. You can use any program you are familiar with or are interested in learning about. 2. Create a PowerPoint video with or without audio, but including captioning. Your PowerPoint video must depict what you learned from your 2 experiences using the prompts listed above. You must have a minimum of 20 slides, but there is no maximum. Use slides as illustrations, not as a place to dump information via text, although minimal words might be necessary. Think about books for children. They are mostly pictures that tell a story. Your audio should tell the story that is illustrated by the slides. Or think about the best commercials you ever see. They tell a story. The slides must be well organized according to the prompts. See this example, how to give an awesome PowerPoint presentation. And there's also in the course resources button in Blackboard, there's access to a video called Death by PowerPoint. Number 3, create a Prezi instead of a mind map or PowerPoint. These look fantastic. I don't have any experience making one, but there is access to a free account with Boise State University. See the course resources button in Blackboard. 4, make a video or film of your experience. Speak about your 2 experiences in a way that, speak about your 1 experience in a way that describes what you learned using the prompts listed above. You only need to do 1 experience. So I'm fixing a typo. So speak about your experience in a way that describes what you learned using the prompts listed above. Include captioning and audio. 5. Use your creativity to present this reflection in any other way that makes some sense to you and can be turned into Blackboard. If you make something physical, you may submit photos of that, for instance, if you make posters, and an explanation of each photo, as well as bring it to class during week 15 to share and get graded. If you just want to make a presentation to the class in week 15, that is also permissible. In that case, you must provide a script and access to any visual material you might show to the class in the Blackboard assignment space. How to complete this assignment: read through the possibilities, complete the reflection, turn in your reflection to Blackboard in the Civic Engagement assignment. Your last group activity in week 15 will be to share and grade your civic engagement experience with your group members. This assignment will be graded based on the rubric attached in the assignment in Blackboard and provided here. It's fairly long, and there are, I believe, 110 points. At the bottom of this instructions, you will find a list of potential community organization ideas, and you will also find a list of specific Boise, Idaho community organizations. If you have any questions, be sure and talk to me before or after class, or send me an email. Thank you for listening.